Hi, everyone. This is me again, and welcome back to episode 3 of my new series where we break down real product concepts in a simple and practical way. In the last video, we talked about product metrics and KPIs, how to measure success. But now comes the real question once you have the data. What do you actually do with it? Because data alone doesn't create value, but decisions do. And this is where the data-driven product decisions and road mapping come in. So let me take you to my screen for a better understanding of how these things work and fit in a real-world scenario. Now, first things first, what are data-driven decisions? Data-driven decisions mean using real data to guide what to build next. Instead of saying, I feel this is important, you say, the data shows this is important, but the data alone is not enough. Let's be clear, data is powerful, but it has its own limitations. Data tells you what is happening, but it doesn't always tell you why is it happening. That's why great PMs combine data, user insights, and the product judgment. Now, let's understand the data for decision making in a few steps. Step number 1, identify the key signals. Start by looking at the drop-offs, the engagement trends, the conversion issues, and the retention patterns, and find where the problem is. For example, high drop-off at checkout, or a low feature adoption is a signal itself. Now, step number 2 is the deep dive analysis. And this is where you ask, why is this happening? And metrics like the funnel analysis, the cohort analysis, the session recordings, and the user feedback. These are the pointers of measurement where you start combining the qualitative and quantitative analysis. And obviously, all of this is coming from the data. Now comes the third step, which is to define the problem. Here, you turn the insights into a clear problem statement. For example, the users drop off at the payment step due to the complexity. Always remember, a clear problem will always lead you to a better solution at the end of the day. Now, at step 4, you will generate the solutions. Now brainstorm possible solutions means simplify the flow, reduce the steps, add trust signals, and improve the UI. A combination of multiple options, not one idea. Step number 5 is to prioritize based on data. Now decide what to do first. Use the impact, effort, and confidence as a combo for prioritization. Now comes step number 6, which is to execute and measure. Simply build, release, and track results, then see. Did the metric improve? Now, at last, simply iterate. If yes, scale it. If no, rethink, and the loop continues. Now, let's understand what is a product roadmap. Basically, a roadmap is a visual plan of what you'll build and why. It connects strategy, priorities, and execution in simple words. A roadmap is equal to a direction and not just a task list. Now, what is the purpose of a roadmap? A roadmap is used to align teams, communicate priorities, show direction, and manage expectations. It answers what are we building next and why. Now, let's understand the types of roadmaps. There are mainly 3 types of roadmaps. Number 1 is the outcome-based roadmap. Focus what we want to achieve. For example, increase retention or to improve the conversion. Number 2 is the feature-based roadmap. Focus what we will build. For example, new onboarding flow or the payment feature. And number 3 is the time-based roadmap. Now focus on when will things be delivered. For example, Q2 or maybe Q3, remember. The best teams always prefer outcome-based roadmaps. Now, let's talk about how the data shapes roadmaps. I have simplified this for you in a few easy steps. Step number 1 is to identify the opportunities. from metrics, the drop-offs, the churn, and the low engagement. Step 2 is to validate with insights. For example, the user interviews, the feedback, and the experiments. Now comes step number 3, which is to prioritize. The common frameworks used here are the RICE and ICE. The RICE framework means aligning with reach, impact, confidence, and the effort. As for the ICE framework, it is the impact, the confidence, and the ease. Now, at the step 4, we build the roadmap. At this step, we now convert the priorities into the initiatives, the timelines, and the themes. And lastly, step 5 is the communication. Share roadmap with the stakeholders, the teams, and the leadership for clarity and the way forward. Now, let's talk about the roadmap versus the backlog. This is important. Backlog is equal to the detailed tasks, and the roadmap is the high-level direction. Here, backlog is short-term, but the roadmap is strategic. Now, let's talk about the common mistakes teams make. Number 1 is the building based on opinions only. Number 2 is to overload the roadmap. This means prioritizing more than capacity. Mistake number 3 is the rigid roadmap with no flexibility. Number 4, and one of the most important, is to ignore the user insights. This will eventually lead to the wrong direction. And lastly, not updating the roadmap. The means continuous work is happening around the outdated plans or from unofficial resources. Now, let's understand it with a real product example. Let's take a fintech example. And data shows high drop-off in onboarding. Analysis shows too many steps and a confusing UI. A simple decision seen here is to simplify the onboarding process, and the roadmap will include the redesigned flow, the reduced steps, and the improvement in the UX. Now, the conversion needle will surely move after the release, and that's data-driven product thinking. Remember, roadmaps are not fixed. They evolve based on the new data, the user feedback, and the business changes. They tend to be dynamic always, not static. Now, let's talk about who is or must be involved in the road mapping. Number 1 is the product manager, as he owns the roadmap. Number 2 is the data team, as they are responsible for the insights. Number 3 are the engineers for feasibility. Number 4 are the designers for the UX direction. And number 5 are the stakeholders for alignment. This is always a collaborative effort for the betterment, not a one-man show. And the most common tools we use today for road mapping are Product Board, Jira, Notion. And there are other varieties of tools, but they vary from company to company depending upon their structure, needs, and capacity. Remember, great PMs don't ask, what should we build? They ask, what problem matters most right now? Because focus creates impact. Now, here are a few key takeaways for you. Data helps guide decisions. Insights turn into problems. Problems turn into solutions. Solutions go into the roadmap. Roadmaps align teams. Good PMs combine data plus judgment. And lastly, the roadmaps should be flexible and outcome driven. So now you understand how strategy and decisions are made. But how do product managers actually balance business goals, user needs, and technical constraints? Now, in the next video, we'll break down product strategy and trade-offs, how great PMs make tough decisions. Till then, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. And yes, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So this gives me motivation to do more. After all, what I do is purely based on my positive intention to create a real impact.